And let me tell you, the minute that I laid eyes on Callum, I felt that connection. That kind of connection that you only feel with a father and son.
What's up, guys? So Chance has been calling out Kiwi Farms. He's been going after Blame Katie, but recently has already become friends with her again, I guess. Really mixed feelings that Cyraxx has about her. You know, last time we looked into him, he was hating on Blame Katie. He despised her. He didn't want anything to do with her. But now I guess they're good. I don't really know, but we're just gonna see on how that turns out, which usually is not in Chance's favor. However, we're going to talk about the Kiwi Farms for a moment. I'm not sure where his hatred for the Kiwi Farms is stemming from right now. It's probably just because he doesn't have anybody to call out in this particular moment. That's besides the point. Last month on the 27th, he was doing this stuff where he was calling out Kiwi Farms and talking about how Kiwi Farms is trash. And my god, he makes that same joke like 4 times. I'm not going to show all the times he's going to talk about how trash Kiwi Farms are, or Inwood Boy, a Willem Glory Hole. He brings them up a lot throughout this video, and he does the exact same joke as I've mentioned. He just keeps on saying trash, trash, trash. Meanwhile, he's pointing into a garbage can with no bag in it. Why there is no bag in it is bothering me, and it is what it is.
And if anybody here in chat knows about Kiwi Farms, for all those of you that are in chat watching right now, what do you guys, like, in your honest opinion, what do you guys in chat think about Kiwi Farms and how f***ed up what they're doing is? Because I personally think it's f***ed up, but I want to know your guys' opinions in chat. What are your guys' take on Kiwi Farms and what they do? Like, I genuinely want to know. Like, for those of you watching in chat, I want to know.
Cyraxx is asking people in his chat to answer this question. What do they believe about Kiwi Farms? And it's a very leading question because he's telling his opinion about it, in which he just wants people to agree with him and submit his opinion as fact, which it isn't really fact. I don't know that much about Kiwi Farms, but if it's anything like the rest of the internet, I'm sure there are bad apples in Kiwi Farms and maybe some honest apples in Kiwi Farms. I don't really know. There's a lot of people on the internet and all their behavior is independent of one another. So it is what it is. Whatever you think about Kiwi Farms is whatever you think about it. But Cyraxx here, he hates the Kiwi Farms. He hates it so much because he has one of the biggest Kiwi Farm pages on the website, if not the biggest. And I'm not sure if he's aware that it is the biggest, but I doubt that he can count that high anyway.
So, I don't see how you think you're going to faze me or even get underneath my skin when you think you know me, but really you don't know me. You only think that you know me because you see what other people post about me on the internet, and you only see a small fraction of my life. But here's the kicker, and even Jacob will agree with this one. Yeah, you might see what's posted online, but what you don't see is what's not on the internet. You don't see what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
You know, in many situations, that probably would be a good explanation. You don't know what happens behind closed doors, privacy, and all that stuff. In most situations, that would be a good argument. However, Chance, your entire life has been posted on the internet at this point. Everything about you is on the Kiwi Farms. Everything about you is on YouTube. It only takes 5 minutes to learn about most of your life, at least the major details. From Marty to Blind Billy to Kate. So Chance, people have seen the things that you've said, and I mean, you've tried to do a lot of heinous things against your enemies. And it's shown that your character is not made of gold. It's not perfect. It's very imperfect. And you just don't see it that way for some reason. And I don't understand why.
Sorry, I was talking to my little sister on Facebook while I talk to y'all at the same time on here. Because my little sister just went to go see the Stitch, the new Lilo and Stitch movie. And she got some dope photos that she sent. I was like, oh, that's awesome. So shout out to my little sister, bro. And also, shout out to my little sister's fiance, who's also one of my childhood best friends along with her, who I brought onto the label. So, shout out to y'all, love you guys. To my little sister and my brother, I love y'all, man. But, you know, like I said, the Kiwi Farms, you guys are a joke, dude. Like, bro, you think that you guys can do music, right? You think you can do music. I got you.
Chance talking about having little brothers and sisters will never not be creepy to me because of the background and history that Chance has whenever it comes to such topics. Chance has a very, very strong proclivity and attraction towards that subject, if you know what I mean. Step families are one of his favorite things to look up, and I'm not sure why, but he really just likes it, and he talks about that stuff. And if he calls you a little brother or a little sister, that means that he is romantically or desires romantic engagement with that person. It's bizarre. I don't know, but it is what it is. It's Cyraxx, I guess. But I don't understand why he's telling us this whenever we all kind of know that this is another troll, this is another person who's going to eventually betray Cyraxx and just kind of make his world a little harder. But other than calling out Kiwi Farms and pretending to be a musician, Chance has gone out of his way to talk about his music label, and he's been very smug about it as of late. If you watch newer Cyraxx content, he's going to probably be mentioning it or talking about it. This thing is like the biggest step in the world for him, you know? It's just Chance. You could do anything. You could shower, you could get your license, you could get your GED, but this label is the most important thing to him. Forget about a license, forget about showering. That label is everything to Chance.
Me, I did the bottom basic $100 registration. Why? Because that's all I need. I don't need all the fancy fucking bells and whistles and this and that and the other. I don't need all that. I don't need all that till the time is right. See, while you three over here are wasting money on all this and trying to get yourself set up and doing this, doing that, I'm over here playing it smart. See, you guys are running yourselves out of money very fast. Might not show now, but in the long run, you guys will be running yourselves out of money very, very, very fast. Because you're wasting your money. You're doing dumb shit, wasting your money. While me, I'm over here with my people, saving money.
He's talking about saving money here, but he's never saved anything. The guy has never received a paycheck. The guy has never paid taxes or gotten a pay stub or anything with the word pay in it. There's only been a few times where Cyraxx got actual money. It's usually from other people, or he takes it from Sally. One or the other in reality. He doesn't do anything that makes any income. I don't know why he's talking and boasting about money and saving money. I guarantee it, if we look at his Cash App, because he doesn't have a bank account, if you look at his Cash App, he probably only has less than $5 in there. I don't know, again, I don't know why he's boasting about this. This isn't anything that he can boast about because he just is broke, you know? He doesn't got that cash. And then on top of that, he does waste his money. He's been wanting things that are wants and not needs in the slightest. Like remember the racing rig? He wanted $6,000 to get the racing rig, and he was trying to do like a GoFundMe a while ago. That was wild. That was crazy. He really wanted that racing rig, and it was thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. You could buy a cheap car with that. So I don't know why he wanted the racing rig, but regardless, it just shows that his priorities are not in straight. He has no financial bone in his body.
By doing it the way that I did it, paying for the basic package, not only do I save myself several hundreds of dollars, but I also have money left over just in case. But you guys, you're over here buying everything in one shot, which at first it might seem like a good idea. But in the long run, you're failing. You're running yourself out of money. See, more money doesn't make more money. Being smart, having a strategy, is what makes more money. Because see, while I'm over here banging up records with my brothers, helping them out, helping them do their job, while I'm over here releasing my own music, which, by the way, got a brand new metal album dropping very soon. Super psyched about that. But while I'm over here helping them out and doing my job as a label owner, you guys are over here trying to constantly one-up me, which it's sad, bro. It's sad. Y'all need to get lives, man. Go outside, see the sunlight, do something.
Says the guy who is as pale as a vampire. Cyraxx is telling other people to see sunlight and go out there and get some sunny D. Dude, what are you talking about? You never go outside. You never go outside anymore ever since Marty and Alex. I mean, sometimes you do, but it's only because of the trolls. I don't understand why you're saying this stuff when you yourself do not do it. And then on top of that, a strategy, really, Chance? You have a strategy? I don't believe that you do, because you've never seen yourself do anything strategic or highly intelligent. I mean, I don't have to say that you haven't. You can just look at you and you would know. But Chance will never look in a mirror, folks. And then on top of that, he mentioned buying everything outright, which typically buying in bulk is cheaper in the long run. I think he's got it backwards. At least for me anyway. Whenever I go to the store or get something, it's the bulk that's cheapest per unit. You know what I mean? Like per ounce or whatever the measurement may be. Bulk is usually cheaper than individual pieces, I guess. However, on the word about this metal album, I am so freaking stoked about it. I am so excited about this metal album that Chance is totally gonna release, and he's not gonna hold over our heads and say, I'm not releasing it. I'm not gonna let it out. You know, I hope he doesn't do that and he actually makes the record album.
I've been doing some research, and guess what? I can go back and take every song that you guys have tried to steal from me. Or have stolen from me. Even with your copyrights, I can go back and take back what is rightfully mine. Which means your boy's gonna be revamping and re-releasing Street Racing Scene here very, very soon. As a one-off single for all the OGs out there that actually like that song. I will be taking that song back, revamping it, and re-releasing it as a hit single for you guys, because I know a lot of y'all like that song. So your boy's gonna be taking that song back, redoing it, and re-releasing it in the way that I intended.
I'm getting so much deja vu right now because he said that he's gonna re-release Street Racing Scene for years now. He's been saying this for such a long time. I don't even know how many times he's talking about Street Racing Scene, but it's the most important song to Chance because everybody wants him to play it because he will get a copyright strike on his streams and on his channel. Willem Gloyhole and Wance Chilkins always making it rain on Cyraxx's parade. And he's sick and tired of them raining on his parade. He's tired of the copyrights. He's tired of the copyright strikes, which I'm not sure how he's gonna fight the copyrights and all that. It doesn't really make any sense. It's clear that he doesn't actually have a plan because he's not describing it. You see, Chance is a very clear and cut guy. He's the kind of person that's very straightforward with no implication. He usually cannot keep a secret to save his life. So if he did have a plan, he would likely let the cat out of the bag and everybody would know about it.
You ain't gonna get a single feature from nobody. Matter of fact, I'm gonna make sure you get blacklisted, which I can do. Because, William, wasn't it you that made that post where you said that you were going to steal my music? Was it? I mean, I have the proof right there. I mean, you yourself admitted to stealing my music multiple times. Once on a live stream that I was on with you, with Blame Katie. So, I mean, all I gotta do is send him the proof of that on top of me owning my and show the receipts. And then guess what? Your little label? Bye-bye. See, you think you have a hindrance on me? Oh, no. You can sit there and deny. Y'all can sit there and deny that, oh, that post was screenshotted. It wasn't me. Nah, it was you.
You know what's crazy about Chance is that he's so confident and he's so puffed up. I mean, I don't even understand what he has to be confident about at this point. I mean, the guy doesn't have a job. He's sitting at home with grandma all day, and it's just not looking good for him. His future looks very bleak, Cyraxx's. But he brings up about taking back his music once again, and this has been a big point that Cyraxx loves to talk about a lot. And it's just this game. It's like a game. He talks about taking back his music. He talks about having receipts and then does nothing with all of it. It's bizarre to me. I guarantee it. Within the next 10 years or so for the rest of Cyraxx's life, Nothing is ever gonna be his. Nothing about this music stuff, nothing about the label. All of it is just a farce at the end of the day. None of it's real, and he just can't see it that way. He just is blinded by his own ideals and an idea of grandeur, I guess. But other than trying to get his music back, Chance has also talked about Kera. And if you guys remember Kera, she's his ex-girlfriend. She's with that Dominic guy, and he got very upset with her about that one. And he talks about how much he loved her and how much he loved her son. So be prepared for a creepy Cyraxx moment.
So, me and Kera came up in high school together. Alright, we had known each other for like 13 plus years. We had been, dating on and off in high school over the years and whatnot. And then, I ended up moving, she ended up moving, so we ended up losing contact. And at that time, when we were in high school, Facebook wasn't around. So, we didn't, we didn't know how to, reach out to each other. Like I said, back then, Facebook wasn't around. AOL was a thing, but, it is what it is. And then, several years later, we refound each other on Facebook, added each other, and became good friends. By that time, she was already... They ended up pregnant, had a kid together, whatever. Is when Kira's son Callum was born. Noah was barely there, ever, throughout the entire pregnancy. He was off doing dumb. So what happened was when Callum was born, I was the first one outside of the immediate family that she called. And let me tell you, the minute that I laid eyes on Callum, I felt that connection. That kind of connection that you only feel with a father and son.
God, it feels like the Shala argument all over again. Chance, you aren't his father. You're not anything to him, okay? You're not his dad. You're not even his stepdad. And besides, at the time he was born, you weren't even dating Kera. You just knew her, I guess. Supposedly, anyway. Chance says that he knew Kera for 13 years, and he said they were dating throughout high school off and on, which is a scary thought because he was in high school up until the age of 23. I'm not exactly sure where he moved from for their separation to happen. But what I can tell you is this situation has so many red flags, it's just completely crimson at this point. I really don't know if they were really in high school together. However, if they were, that just paints a really ugly picture of the whole thing because of what Chance said about them dating.
And something in my heart and in the back of my mind told me you're gonna be that boy's dad one day. 5 years later, and me and her were why are we, hiding being from each other? We've been together before. We've already admitted many times in the past that we wanted to be together. That we wanted to get married and, spend the rest of our lives together because we knew each other so well and we were on that level that, it felt right. It felt like it was supposed to be. And so we ended up dating. And we had ended up, this is back in last October when me and her ended up together. Now, me being the person I am, the reason why I took to Kera and Callum right away wasn't just because me and Kera have history. No, it was literally, that's the biggest reason, yeah. But another reason is because I know what it's like to not have a dad in my life. Not my biological father, but my adoptive dad, the one that helped my mom raise me since I was born. He was in the military and he was never really there, so to speak.
This has to be the most baffling thing to me, is that Chance is talking trash about Gordon. He always trashes on Gordon all the time, aka his military dad. And the reason this baffles me is because Rupal was never even there. Gordon was there up until you were 9 to 12 years old, somewhere around there. He was there for about a decade of your life, Chance. He was there more than Rupal, which shocks me that you don't talk about Rupal more. I don't know why he treats Gordon like this big bad guy and Rupal just as a non-issue, that RuPaul is just this guy who's totally perfectly fine, even though he's never really been in your life, Chance. You're not angry at him for that. I don't get it. I just don't understand in the slightest. How are you more angry at Gordon, the man who's been in your life and took care of you, than RuPaul, the man who is actually your father and then didn't take care of you? I mean, I just don't get it. The sole reason RuPaul had Cyraxx was because his previous son got taken away by the government. And he just doesn't think about this. He just doesn't think about any of this because it's just not important to him for some reason. To most people, this would be tragic and something they would want to seek out treatment for. And he just doesn't care. It's the most bizarre thing I think about Chance, is that he doesn't care about his parents. But another baffling thing I want to point out is this whole dating history thing he's bringing up with Kera, in which is just total baloney. And plus, he's dated a bunch of other women while he was also talking with Kera. I mean, we've looked at Cyraxx. We've been watching him for a while, and he's had a lot of girlfriends over the past 2, 3, heck, 4 years, in which, if that were the case, if he was talking to Kera at the same time, then he was already cheating on her with a bunch of other girls because he would have already been talking to her. It's just a bizarre, weird little detail to me.
I didn't want him to go without having at least some sort of father figure or some sort of dad in his life. And like I said, me and Kera being who we were, you know, she deemed me Calum's dad. Because, like I said before, I was the first one that she called outside of family. I was the one that she reached out to. Immediately, like that day, like not even that day, like that night. Quite literally, like I was there on FaceTime with her, minus like the whole, like, you know, the baby actually being born thing. Besides like the whole, like aside from, you know, Callum being born, I was there for the entire pregnancy, dude. Like I was on FaceTime with her the entire time. Like literally the entire time. Now you can't have an understanding of that. Let's go back to where we were, which is, you know, like I said in October, me and her got together. You know, I became Callum's dad. And you can even ask, you know, CIA, you can ask 045. I was barely on. Like, I was barely on Facebook because I was spending time with, you know, her, being a dad to Callum, you know, doing what I could on my end of things. Back then, I was working full-time on my channel. I was actually making money.
This should just... No, Chance, no. Dude, you are not making money. You are not working full-time. What are you talking about? I don't know where he's getting all this from. I've been watching Chance for nearly 3 years now, and I can say wholeheartedly that he's never worked a day in his life. He's never had a job. He's never gotten paid. And it's just bizarre to me that he can say this and expect people to just believe it. And it's just like, no, Chance, no. You haven't worked. You haven't done any of these things. You aren't helping her take care of the child. You aren't helping raise that child. You are miles, tens of miles away from her and that kid, and you will never see them. You just won't. It's not gonna happen, dude. The relationship is done. You cheated on her, you betrayed her, and she cheated on you and left you for a better man. It's what happened, and you cannot say otherwise, Chance. And besides, you only dated her for what, like 4 months, maybe 5. It's not that long of a relationship, you know, and I can understand relationship issues and getting too attached, but Chance is not someone who attaches himself to people. He sees people as tools and to be used. It's a very gross mentality Chance has about people. He doesn't know how to interact. He doesn't know how to be empathetic. But other than Kera, he's also been talking about how fans want to visit his house, and I guess some people went over 339 and gave him a little visit, but Sally told them to go away, and so Chance had to make a little video talking about how sorry he is that the fans couldn't see him and get a picture with him. It's just, he just wants his ego stroked. That's all this is. He doesn't care about the fans. I don't buy that for a second.
What's up, guys? So I'm making this video reaching out to those fans, to the fans that stopped by a few days ago first of all, I want to say that I'm truly sorry that you guys didn't get to meet me. We didn't get to hang out. You know, y'all didn't get to, you know, see me or whatever. And believe me, I genuinely, I truthfully feel bad about that. I do. I genuinely feel so bad about that. Because I know you guys came all that way. You wanted to see me, you wanted to hang out. And I would have been totally up for that. I would have loved that. Because honestly, I love meeting the fans. I love meeting new people. I love having fun. And if you guys are out there, please reach out to me on my Facebook. Reach out to me on my Discord. I do finally have a Discord. I want to get to know you guys. I want to hang out with you guys. You know, to the ones that, you know, stopped by. Like, I want to get to know you guys as fans, man. Because you guys seemed like you were super cool. You guys were super awesome people from what I can tell. And again, I do apologize for not being able to hang with you guys. Just with the circumstances and everything that went on with that Alex guy and him trying to come back over here to try to start. It was a f***ed up situation. Like, it really was a f***ed up situation, and I do genuinely feel bad for y'all.
So yeah, I guess Sally told them to go away. Like I guess she might have tossed some cookies at them, told them to get off her property. Who knows? Maybe she whipped out the baseball bat. But you know, Chance just wants his ego to be stroked. He wants people to see him as the rock star that he thinks that he is, and it's never gonna happen. Never truly going to happen anyway. There might be people out there who will call him a rock star and pretend to enjoy his music, but at the end of the day, it's all just buddy trolls. However, I want to go ahead and wrap things up here and shout out David Grunga, Stefan Thurman, Rax Labs Trademark, Croissant, Joshua Baker, Blues Nose Clues, Pug, Plan of David, David and Fred Slapby, Lotus Man 17, Chris SH, Sean McClure, Hello Panda, The Stream That Jake Built, Sauce, Murderous Mushroom, Saggy Raggy, Paul Highlander, Rax Xanax, Fats 12, Danger Chris, Nico Suave, Mark Pena, Unknown Posters, Smithers, Nivik, Benjamin Sanborn, Only Wise Hermit, Gaming with Both Hands, Jojo's Woodshed, Joyful Danae, Punky Squirrel 666, Christopher Zazel, Haley Cantaloupe Cakes, Harry Genitals, Jason Cruel, Delray, Tubby Thunder, Luard, David Reverse, Jilly's Mom, Finn and Aaron, Joshua Roberts, Depressed Rabbit, Gunslinger Brett, Zorl Champion of First Club, Bucky, Oversoul, Old Cars and Python Sarah, Dreadhead David 420, Ice Swallow, The Black Pearl, Edward Walden Hain, Nick Cliff, Atomic Renegade, Steve Squeepy Van, Evan Reed, Curse Decals, World of Worlds, TJ Bender, James, Honda Civic, Tanis Finest, Rovato Sand, Bakano Sensei, Poofy Mooncakes, Mad 33s, and Dark Chocolate. Thank you guys for y'all's support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.